So hello and welcome, dear students and the guests of my channel. I just want to make a short video about how you defend your thesis, because some students asked me already how a defense runs and what you have to do. And at our university you have usually 8 minutes for the bachelor and 10 minutes for the master when you have to defend your thesis. And think about the following. So you are sitting in front of the committee, and the committee are usually 3 people. Sometimes there are also guests who can be there and listen to your presentation, and they don't know what is your dissertation about. So at least one of the professors, your supervisor, or if you have 2 supervisors, they will know, but the others don't know. And you need to find a nice way to present your results that they are interesting for everybody and focused enough, but still show that you made a deep analysis. But think of the following: if you jump too deep into analysis, you will scare off those people who are not into your topic. That is why in this short video I'll show you how you retain this high psychological distance, where you explain why is your topic important, how you change your distance and go to closer to the results, what exactly you found, and then at the end how you do it within 8 to 10 minutes. I'm going to give you some suggestions. Feel free to use them, but feel free to ignore them if you don't want to have them. The first slide, first of all, try to use, we have the official template from our university, why not using it? Many students try to take something very creative. It can be good, but it can be also bad. So before you do something wrong, try to stick to the classical one. You have the great topic here, your name and title and name of your supervisor. Don't forget, in Austria it's good if you have the title. It is the professor or FH minus professor or just the professor and doctor and so on. So just please your supervisor, why not? The topic. You come to the table of contents, and here pay attention to this slide. This is the structure of the presentation, how I would do it. You show the motivation research question, you explain theory and hypothesis, you show your methodology, results, discussion and references. But it is important, don't show this slide, because you have only 8 minutes. And if you have 8 slides, which is not much, it means only 1 minute per slide, which will make you speed up. And if you speed up, you make it all worse. So this is the structure that you will need, but don't show it. Don't make this slide on the structure, because everybody can follow. If you tell about your motivation, tell about the theory, methodology, it's just absolutely logical. It's not like 1 hour presentation where you have to explain what awaits somebody and that somebody can skip the first 20 minutes of your presentation because they are not interested in something. Here, everybody is interested. 8 minutes. Use them wisely. Then actually the first slide comes here, motivation research question, and I think it is important that you show what motivated you to make this research. Mostly it is a kind of, for the moment, it's the work of your life. You want to show something, you were interested in this one. Tell us a short story why. Very briefly, that, I don't know, I observed how people work with ChatGPT, and I have seen that they feel kind of substituted, that ChatGPT can sometimes answer questions better than those who spent years on the topic. That is why I was interested in understanding whether the identity, how we feel ourselves, is threatened by the generative AI. This is sufficient. Few sentences, eye-catching, interesting. It is the hook. You can add a hook here with your story. You can continue with your story from the hook. Here's an example. Just take a nice graph. I have it from Gartner.com that shows the hype cycle of artificial intelligence 2023. Show this slide and show that actually where we are, we're here, and where we're here, and that is why I am motivated. And a hook is something that catches attention, and people will start listening if you show them the clear motivation and something cool that they have not known hitherto. Your personal observation or motivation experience, that's what I told you, the story. So you can start with the hook, then the story, or story and then the hook. Doesn't really matter. It should be just a clean storyline. Then the theory. Here at this slide, say only the name of the theory. That is why, for instance, I decided to look at the dual process theory, and I wanted to see how the system 1 or heuristic thinking is being impacted by the object of investigation, and how much the system 2 thinking, which is the analytical thinking, is impacted by this one. Only name the theory because you will have time to explain how it works later. Why you took it, because you think it is fitting, it can explain something, and it's really about only a few lines or a few lines of text. Research question. Name it here. My research question is therefore, and formulate the research question as a short sentence. A research question is, why do I don't know why do digital initiatives fail based on the social cost perception or the indirect cost perception of digitization. And the story that I used to tell to this one, that I've never seen a digital initiative that failed based on the price. It fails based on the cost, but these are not the monetary costs. It fails based on the hierarchies. People don't want to give up their power. That is why I believe, and this is my research question, digitization can fail because of this cost, and in my work I wanted to investigate the impact of social or indirect costs of digitization on the actual acceptance or rejection of a digitization project. Sorry that I'm working with many examples, but I don't want to skew you with only one topic. Use correct citation style, especially if you use theories. Don't only mention them. At our university, we use for English classes APA. For German DGP, it is the same in German, but use it correctly because you can lose additional points only if you cite it wrong, if you put the dot before the citation, not after citation, and so on. So just use it correctly. Then you come to theory and hypothesis, and here I talk only about the quantitative methods. I'm just a quantitative guy. Focus on 1 and 3 hypotheses only. I know that some of you have in their thesis like 3, 4, 5, somebody has in 7 hypotheses. I don't think you need 7 hypotheses, but I know that some professors want you to have 7 hypotheses. It doesn't mean you have to present all of them during your defense. Present only 2 or 3, the most important ones. The rest you can mention. There are more hypotheses that are in my thesis, but in this presentation I want to focus on my key findings. So 1 or 3 hypotheses and make them clear with the theory. Theory, dual process theory, would say that those who are in heuristic way of thinking, they think automatically, they take mental shortcuts. And that is why if A happens, then the B would probably be of that kind. The same theory said that those people who are in analytic and system 2 way of thinking, they are more rigorous, they analyze information. That is why if A happens in this condition, something else, B1 or B2 will happen. And hypothesis 1 is an A has impact on B. And what theory says about C, and then you says like hypothesis A has on B, but under condition of C, which is the moderation. So, but if they're in a bad mood or in a good mood, they switch between system 1 and system 2 thinking and depict it. So very simple hypothesis with a simple depiction will make it really clear and nice. Here, one more picture for the mediation hypothesis. Try to make it really simple. Again, it's good if you have only moderation, only mediation, so don't make it overcomplicated. Make it simple to understand and interesting. Again, we talk about a nice story, and you can make a clear storyline, and this simple picture will help you present it well. Methodology. Why this method? What method? So you decided in my event, one of students decided to make discrete choice experiment. Why discrete choice experiment? It is a comparative method. It allows you to compare different things. It allows you to understand the importance. It implies causality, which is weak causality, but still it is causality. And we actually know pretty much. We would like to test the aspects, the interaction of different aspects. This is what this method is good for. If you want to understand why and how, probably you need to go for a qualitative method and explain it, but I'm not good in qualitative methods. Why this method? What a method? How it was applied? That I decided to make an experiment. That's why I focused on the Austrian sample or the German-speaking sample, which means Austria, Switzerland, Germany, Luxembourg, Liechtenstein, and I wanted to see something. How you operationalize it? I made an online questionnaire that included a manipulation, and I distributed my link between, I don't know, people speaking German who are working in the banking sphere, and I found these people using Xing and LinkedIn. And depicted again. This would be for the one within between design experiment. This is from the one of impact of noise of learning. So I made all students to learn in quiet condition. Then the first group of students introduced a loud song, and they had to resolve the tasks, and then the song was away and they had to continue resolving the task. The other group, vice versa, they resolved the task, then the second task, and then the loud noise was introduced, the music, and they had to resolve the task. In this way, I managed to see whether noise has impact on learning and whether if it disappears, also learning increases. All depicted in this way. This is the multifactorial design of an experiment where you have the treatment conditions, 2 independent variables x and y, and you can see an O for observation. So I made the male and female who were combined to receive task A and task B, and then I could observe whether a male with task A would be better than female with task A, or female with task B would be better than male with task B. And this is how my experiment looks like. The simpler, the better. Results. Show main results. I know that all of you produce tables with results. You find plenty of significant things. Focus on the main thing, this 2-3 hypothesis, this wow effect. Try to impress people. Think about, again, only one of these or two people will be your supervisors who know your work. The others would like to have a kind of overview of what you did. And here we come to something more concrete. You see, we started with abstract, the topic, story, motivation, and we came to the method, and now we're even more concrete. We have now the numbers. Instead of tables, use graphs. Tables are hard to read. Use a graph. This is, for instance, the way to depict a discrete choice experiment in willingness to pay. You can show exponential p-values, but it will need another 2-3 minutes to explain how to read exponential p-values. Here you can say we compare everything against acceptance of risks, which means doing nothing. And here we have transferring risks, mitigation risk strategy, and avoiding risk strategy. And you see in how much people would like to have it. They're willing to wait another 4.5 months for the implementation of the project in order to be able to avoid the risks. They're willing to wait 4.2 months in order to mitigate the risks. And they're willing to wait even only 2 months if they want to transfer sharing risks. But of course, the wish is to have the platform that allows them to avoid in any type. So you see, avoidance, any type of risk avoidance, sharing, mitigation, or complete avoidance is better than accepting the risks. And make a simple suggestion at the end. Here, empirical evidence suggests that people are strongly risk avoidant. Simple conclusion from this complex graph, that people know what to read for first. Look at here that you have the p-values and willingness to trade, that you explain what is where if somebody is interested, but actually focus more on the graph. This will be much easier way to show what you need. Then we come to discussion, and discussion will be, why are your findings important? Who cares? So you have found it, so why is it important? Focus not on, wow, I found something. Who cares? Now what I found is important for the whole banking sector, for all banks in Austria. And those banks who can take my knowledge and apply it will be able to save a lot of money in their digitization products or in something else. Why are the findings important? Because they allow them to save a lot of money, to increase the expenditure on something they really need instead of spending money on something people don't like to have. What about the larger picture? What is the implication for theory? Maybe you have found something we haven't known hitherto. So maybe you can say, actually, we all thought this would be system 1, thinking system engaged, but actually it seems that people are analytical. It is system 2. This is something new we haven't known. Or implication of practice. Now the practitioners know what is digitization of value, what is the value of each aspect of digitization, not just the cost of the project that your consultants will tell you, but actually how it will be implemented. If you have some important findings, you can add them here. So by the way, as we talk about digitization, I also tested the control variables, and I noticed that those people who are, for instance, older or have more experience with whatever, they are much better in something than the others. This is not the key finding, this is not my hypothesis, but I think it's very valuable, and I would like to add it here during the discussion because I think it is interesting. Maybe you have many other interesting things, but focus on one cool thing. I found more. If you want to have them, my dissertation or my thesis is available. Feel free to read it. I can send it to you. It's really interesting what I found. And then you make the slide something like, thank you, I'm happy to answer your questions. And here's the trick. Afterwards, you have the references. If you have them before, nobody manages to read through them, but it takes time. If you have them here, you can say, by the way, the references are following. If you're interested, let me know. Otherwise, I'm happy to answer your questions. Regarding feedback, it is interesting or useful sometimes to have backup slides when you have also other hypotheses and the results, maybe the table that is hard to read. And if somebody has a question regarding the results, you can say, yeah, by the way, I have the table with the final, with my model 1 or model 2, where I can see, we can observe all the results and I can explain it to you. So if you have the question, I can show it. Other hypotheses, you can list them here. If somebody says, okay, you presented 2, what were the others? Here they are. Statistical tables. Use the clear ones. You know that if you make the discrete choice experiment, then the table with the control variables is usually a big mess. So it's really big, and show the main results. So the clean table, don't show any table. Don't put all the tables here, because the additional slides are useful for like few seconds. They ask you a question, you want to easily find it. If you have 20 slides with 20 tables, until you find one, everybody will be confused. So only maybe one table the hypothesis. Don't forget it is now not really correct, so if it is APA, this should be italicized, S and SE and P, and B should be italicized, so use it correctly, sorry. If you want an example, by the way, I observed something which goes in line with what I did, and don't use animation on this additional slides, because nobody needs animation here. And actually that was it. I hope it is helpful and hope it will help you defend. I recommend you to watch my video on how to be calm and avoid nervousness. And just a probably small thing at the end I want to tell you that I tell all the time to my students. Being nervous is good. Being nervous is good because it's part of fear, and fear makes you attentive. If I tell you, if you go to Innsbruck, take care, something's going to happen. You will be aware, you will be looking around, you will be analyzing information, you will be fast, and actually it will help you think about all the things you need. There are two states that we don't need. Being too calm, which is very hard to find information, to get yourself. Luckily, it is seldom the case. And the last one is being too nervous, which is blocking. This is the fear that blocks you. And we don't need it. If it happens, take just a second, look at yourself from the side. Why are you nervous? Why are you afraid? Most likely you think that what you do really matters and you don't want to look stupid in front of the eyes of your friends. You don't want to look stupid in front of the eyes of your supervisor. You don't want to, be bad in the eyes of your parents or your friends or your family. They don't care. It's only about you. And honestly, even the professors had some retakes, and we all had some issues also with defenses and also with the different projects. We know it all, and you cannot look bad. So actually it's only in your head what happens, what makes you nervous. Just understanding, bit nervous is okay, just to mobilize your resources, but not nervous. If yes, really think about the following. Your family doesn't care. They want you to go through. They don't care if you get a 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. They want you to be happy, and your happiness is again within your head. If you have a 4.0 and you're happy, who cares? It's fine. If you have 1.0, it's even better. But nobody will punish you, penalize within your family. Your partner, your wife, your husband will not tell you that how bad you are that you received the grade, which is not so good. They don't. They won't. And this will help you to be more relaxed and play with it as with a game. You come here, you come to the defense without any points, you have 0. As long as you start opening your mouth, you start receiving points. If you open your mouth and say something, you receive already some points. If you say something clever, you receive good points. And if you say something surprisingly good, you receive a very good grade. So think of this, and good luck with your thesis defense. See you there in probably those who defend the thesis in next weeks will see me there. See you. Bye-bye.